Good evening, everyone. It's Rosilla, and welcome back to the channel. And today we have a pretty significant video to get into. Is Tropical Storm Delta has turned into Hurricane Delta, and we are expecting that storm to become a major hurricane. Before I do get started with the video, I would ask that you do subscribe if you do enjoy the weather-related content that I do provide. We are currently on the road to 100 subscribers, and if you are new, make sure to hit that red subscribe button to get us closer to our goal. We are currently at 86 current subscribers, so thank you guys so much for all the support on the recent videos, and let's see if we can get this video up to 5 likes. So here on the 2-day outlook, you can see Hurricane Delta has formed, and we do have Tropical Depression Gamma that has also kind of came into the picture today. As you can see, no new systems are on the NHC's current radar, so nothing's going to be forming here over the next 5 days as well. And I don't know why the NHC hasn't updated their 5-day outlook, but it hasn't yet. But we do know that Tropical Storm Delta is now a confirmed hurricane. Let's get into these key messages for Tropical Storm Delta that is now Hurricane Delta. So dangerous storm surge and hurricane conditions are expected within portions of the northern Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico and are possible in extreme western Cuba beginning Tuesday night, and a hurricane warning is in effect. Heavy rainfall will affect portions of Jamaica, then the Cayman Islands, western Cuba, and the northern Yucatan Peninsula during the next few days. This rainfall could lead to significant flash flooding and mudslides. Tropical storm conditions are expected in portions of the Cayman Islands beginning tonight or early Tuesday, and a tropical storm warning is in effect. Delta is forecasted to approach the northern Gulf Coast late this week as a hurricane. While there is large uncertainty in the track and intensity forecast, there is an increasing risk of dangerous storm surge, wind, and rainfall hazards along the coast from the Louisiana to the western Florida Panhandle beginning Thursday night or Friday. Residents in these areas should ensure they have their hurricane plan in place and monitor any updates to the forecast of Hurricane Delta. So let's look at the National Hurricane Center's cone, and you can see we are expecting this system to become a major hurricane 2 a.m. on Wednesday. As you can see, we do have hurricane warnings in effect for parts of the Yucatan and very western Cuba. And here's a little closer view of these hurricane warnings and the current wind field for Hurricane Delta. So we still do have some hurricane watches that are still in effect just for the southern part of Cuba where those hurricane warnings are. But other than that, if you are in Cuba, if you are in the Yucatan Peninsula, you need to be taking your shelter, and please have your hurricane plans going, and those need to be going on right now. So when these arrival times and these tropical storms, at least winds, so you could be experiencing some of these winds if you're in the Yucatan or if you're in Cuba at around 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. on Thursday, and possibly in the early morning hours on Tuesday. And then for Louisiana, you could be experiencing these winds sometime Thursday morning or Thursday night. So let's look at the satellite image. You can see a nice deep area of convection really kind of starting to form in the center of this system right in here. Let me get my pen here, right in here, and then we have a nice area of convection to the south of that as well, and then kind of off to the right with that system as well. If you don't know what convection is kind of where all the heavy rain is. So if there's a big pocket of convection, that's usually where the low level or the low pressure is as well. And then here on the wide view, you can clearly see that convection really starting to fire off right here towards the center. And then you can see the same thing towards the right and towards the bottom. We do have some areas of convection that we need to be keeping our eyes on, especially in the middle where we could be seeing an eye possibly trying to kind of form in this system. And then here on the true color, you can kind of see what it looks like as well. You can see Tropical Depression Gamma just off to its northwest, currently sitting just off the coast of the Yucatan Peninsula. And then you can see right here in the middle where that deep convection is really starting to fire off. Let's look at these track guidance. So all the models are in pretty much unison with this system hitting eastern Louisiana and possibly New Orleans again. But other than that, it's just going to be a matter of time of when this system will be making its landfall. I've seen it from 120 hours all the way up to 102, so it's going to be sometime in that time frame. And here on the GEFS model, you can see pressure down to 980 millibars in about 72 hours. It looks like it's going to be at its lowest peak. So it looks like anytime on the GEFS from 72 to about 120 hours could be making landfall. It's just a little too far out, in my opinion, to be making any precise time forecast for the system to make landfall. let's look at the model intensity guidance. So most of the systems have this becoming a hurricane, if not all of the models. It's just getting a matter of how intense will the system get. We have a couple of models here having it being a low-end Category 4 hurricane. Other than that, most of the models have it sitting at around a mid to low-end Category 3 hurricane. I will show you guys my forecast here in a little bit. The current stats for Hurricane Delta are at 980 millbars for the current pressure, max sustained wind 65 knots or 75 miles per hour. Current location is at 16.5 north, 79.6 west, and its current movement is at 7 knots or at 8 miles an hour. So here is my forecast that I am projecting this system to become. So in about 48 hours, I have it becoming a major hurricane at 115 mile per hour winds and pressure at 960 millibars. But other than that, at landfall in about 102 hours is my prediction at 90 mile per hour winds. So a very low end Category 2, maybe a high end. We just don't know. There's just the models. They're kind of all over the place. We can't make a precise guess or estimate, but other than that, I have it at 961 millibars, and then in 120 hours, I have it dropping all the way down into a tropical depression. And then here are my impact forecast. So red equals hurricane conditions that are possible. Yellow is tropical storm, and green is tropical depression. So here in the Yucatan in western Cuba, I have this general area under a hurricane conditions watch area, and then down towards to the east and west of the Yucatan and to the east of the Cuba, I have them under a tropical storm watch area as well. And then here for Louisiana, I have this general area under a hurricane conditions possible area. This is where the hurricane will be making landfall. And other than that, up towards the Carolinas under a tropical depression as well, just due to possibly some winds. And then parts of Houston as well. I think Houston won't get affected by any rain, but your winds may be a little stronger, just due to the fact that this storm, we just don't know how intense this storm will be at landfall. It's just going to be a matter of how intense and where will the low level area make its official landfall. So let's look at some hurricane models. So we're looking at forecast hour 6, and I'll show you guys where that is up at the top. So right up here is where the forecast hour is. So you can see it is right now at 993 millibars, and here is the system right in here. Where are you? Right in here. And then you can see tropical depression Gamma out here towards the Yucatan Peninsula. I want to know, let me go down in the comment section. Do you guys like the GIFs better, or do you want me to show it frame by frame to where the most important things are? So here in about 36 hours, I have it that the GFS model has it at 970 millibars, making somewhat landfall with the Yucatan Peninsula in about 36 hours. So again, look up here for the forecast hours. And then about 66 hours, it has it down to 964 millibars. Looks like it took a little left-hand turn going closer to Texas. And then in about 90 hours, at around 957 millibars. So a very, very intense storm that is about to make landfall with Louisiana. And then in about 102 hours, it has it at 961 millibars. And now we're looking at the wind shear. So we do have some shear that it looks like it is starting to kind of back away. Here is the hurricane right in here, and then here is Gamma right here. So it looks like we do have some decreasing shear across the Gulf of Mexico that is going to help this storm not so quickly fall apart, and this could actually help the storm kind of intensify in the Gulf. And then here are the little general areas of sea surface temperatures. So this system is under very favorable conditions just due to the very warm waters, because the system hasn't really gone kind of through this area and then intensified very quickly and practically a while, and so that's caused these waters to be really, really warm, and that's what's causing this storm to rapidly intensify. And then here on the sea surface temperatures, right here you can see it is currently sitting around 86 degree temperatures, and here are the Bahamas right in here. So it is currently loving these conditions right now just due to the really warm waters. And you can see out here towards the Gulf, we're looking at around mid to low 80s as well, and then up towards the Carolinas. I love pointing this out every single video. 72 and 71 degree water temperatures. So I think that's hilarious, just how how warm those waters were about a month ago, and just how cool they've kind of become over the past month. So here's another picture of the shear. So you can see we have a general area of some pretty good shear kind of sitting across the area of the northwestern area of the Gulf and parts of New Orleans. And let's look at the tropical intensity index. So you can see highly favorable conditions all along here in the kind of western Atlantic region that we like to call it. So that's what's causing this storm to rapidly intensify. But you can see it is kind of starting to run out of space. So the storm is somewhere right in here, so it doesn't have much area to kind of intensify much further, but it is expected to kind of use all that time to rapidly intensify, and we are expecting this to become a major hurricane. So that means a category 3 or higher. Let's look at the atmospheric moisture. So we do have some very moist areas right here where the system is expected to be, and then we have a nice pocket of moist waters kind of where Gamma is currently, and then some drier air kind of sitting where all this wind shear is, and that is expected to start moving out here in the next couple of days. So we're going to be looking at some shear. So right here is the Yucatan Peninsula. I'm going to draw it out for you guys. Yucatan Peninsula is sitting right in here, so keep your eyes there. So here is the Gulf of Mexico, and then we do have some shear that is starting to turn into some favorable. You can see right in here, here's a little green area of green pocket of some pretty favorable conditions for storms to kind of intensify, and then you can kind of start to see that shear kind of starting to go up, kind of back inland here, and that's what's going to cause that storm to intensify pretty nicely, and that could become a pretty dangerous system for the coast of Louisiana. That's going to do it for the video, guys. Hopefully you all did enjoy. Make sure to share with your family and friends. Make sure, if you are new, hit that red subscribe button down below, and I will see you guys in the next video.